so much, 'cause I really care too much. It's all just overwhelming, I'm just overthinking. I feel like I'm too much. Keep mistaking my anxiety for intuition, and stress keeps getting in the way of my ambition. Logically, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but my body doesn't agree with my brain. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying there's no one there who cares like I do. I really wanna feel free, but I'm worried I will lose me. Somewhere along the road, I start feeling cold, get caught up in something old that's been further down the rabbit hole. Down to go, down to go. Ooh. Logically, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but my body doesn't agree with my brain. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying there's no one there who cares like I do. In the past, worry about the present. How do I make it last? Oh, make it last. In the past, thinking about the future. Is it gonna be like that? 'Cause I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying there's no one there who cares like I do.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Freight TrapN Podcast. I am your host, your man, your co-driver, your pilot, Mr. James Roberts, and aka Solo Driver. Well, today I want to welcome you guys to this edition. I'm waiting on Miss Miss Nicole Robinson, aka DJ Nick, to get in the building. In the meantime, in between time, I will reset the podcast and I will ramble as expected. I got a couple of articles I'm going to read, whether they mean anything to you or not. It's upon you to determine that, but I will put it out there and kind of discuss it until my guest either comes in or doesn't come in, whatever the case may be. I have some things on tap. This is a driver friendly podcast. I talk to any and every driver or everybody in transportation. We do respect everybody who comes on this platform. We respect your privacy. We respect your opinions. We respect everything that you decide to agree or disagree with us on. This is strictly opinions. This doesn't mean that anything we say are facts. We do not tell anybody what to think. We do not tell anybody what to say. We do not set up anything that happens on this podcast. It is truly organic. It happens as we flow with it. Questions happen as we flow with it. Whether they cry, we argue, we go back and forth, we disagree. It's truly organic because I am a person that can respect where you come from, your opinion, your train of thought, the way you was raised, the way you were taught. Everybody wasn't taught the same manner. And so that's what the podcast is about. Really and actually freedom of speech and freedom of opinion. Once again, my name is James Roberts, aka Solo Driver. I am a city driver for FedEx Freight. I love what I do. I go to work and I have fun. I have fun on my podcast. I have fun in life. I try to make life as light and fun and organic as possible, right? So, with that being said, like I said before, my guests come in, I'll probably just ramble until she gets in. She may be DJing, maybe getting her kids together. This is a Sunday, and I do appreciate the guys and the ladies and the companies giving me time, their time on a Sunday to sit down with me and talk. On next week, we're gonna have Josh Boyd, my boy. He's gonna be in the building. We'll be talking on Sunday. We probably gonna change some things up. I'm probably gonna do some things different because this is a live show, right? So this is a live show. And so anything happen. I don't edit my shows. I don't cut and paste. I don't add this and add that. I don't do that. This is a live show. What you see is what you get. I don't muffle anybody. I don't tell any. Like I said, we don't tell anybody what to say. So with that being said, I am going to move on. I haven't heard from DJ Nick. I hit her on TikTok. I emailed her, and we're just gonna go on and on and on. I'm gonna give about 15 minutes, and then I'm just going to um proceed with the show as if she was here, right? So let me read this article. This is the first article I want to and I'm going to screen share this. Give me a minute. Uh, give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen. Yes, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see. Screen 1. Yes. Okay. Allow. So I guess you guys can see that. I will let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right there for you guys. So here it is. FedEx Express sets March 31st deadline to prioritize UPS volumes in event of Teamsters strike. FedEx warns UPS shippers, not UPS. They didn't warn UPS. They warned the shippers to act now before it's too late. Meaning that what I'm taking from that is, hey, set up with us now while the price is good. Because if they strike and if they shut down, the price is going to go up. Simple business tactic. Simple business. It's all it is. It's business, and that's what we're here to do. We're we're here to make money, and that's the way you make money, and that's the way you gain business from your competitors. And you do know UPS is a competitor to FedEx. So the Teamsters are planning They in there, they're negotiating for their workers. So with that being said, FedEx says, hey, listen, we're going to get you in at this rate if you come in now and set up an account with us now. Set up for us to pick up from you now. Since UPS is on the fence about what they're going to do before they decide whether to strike or not to strike, we're coming in offering to get your business. Because after the 31st and you come to us, yesterday's prices is not today's prices. In layman's terms, yesterday's prices is not today's prices. It's business. It's business. And that's what we have to understand as truckers too, is when these companies come in and they want to renegotiate a contract, or they want to come in and the contract is up and they want to renegotiate and make a new contract. You got to understand that uh they come in to negotiate. So the Teamsters, the union, UPS is union. So the union, which represents the workers, are going in to renegotiate the contract with UPS. So being that they're going in to renegotiate with UPS, uh, FedEx says, hey, all the people that use UPS and you don't have a contract with us now, or we don't have a relationship, now let's get a relationship before March 31st. And your shipments begins to dwindle or don't move because they're on strike. My opinion, I don't think they're going to strike. I think they'll come to some type of headway. And UPS being knowing this is actually working in the workers' favor by FedEx doing this, because now it pushes UPS to come to kind of meet them in the middle or come more to their side in order for them to make an agreement upon whatever they're going in to negotiate. Wages, benefits, um, several things, sick time, how much sick time they get, how much leave of absence they get, do they get paid, uh, bonuses, raises, how much the raise is going to be, how much they're going to get. But you do know they're going in there. Teamsters represents workers almost like they're lawyers going in and talking for the workers instead of the workers having a one-on-one with UPS saying, okay, this is what we're going to get, right? This is what we're going to give you. So they go in and negotiate. So this kind of pushes UPS more towards the workers than the workers more toward UPS. So it's really gonna, I think it's gonna work out, and this is strictly my opinion. I said this before. I think it's gonna work out in their favor. So let's go down. That's just my opinion. So let's go down and read, and let's listen to some of the article. Let's listen to some of this. Let's see what it says. Basically, the same thing I just said. That's in the article. They're pretty much reading the article. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until after March 31st or March 31st. Don't wait to contact us. Take advantage of being priority on our list because FedEx has a long list of priority customers. You can get on that list. You can bump up that list if it comes over, if you come over, if you use FedEx. And most of the time when you go into business with a FedEx or UPS, you go into it with a contract. 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. So FedEx has to adhere to their part and you have to adhere to yours, so forth and so on. So at the end of the day, this is a business strategy, which works out for FedEx, but it also works out for the UPS workers. Don't look at it as FedEx trying to take your business. Look at it as FedEx is giving you a leg up. It's just like in football. Lamar Jackson, he's up for contract. Running backs be up for contracts. Cornerbacks be up for contracts. So what you do is you wait until another quarterback or this is what's hurting Lamar, I think, is that there's not another quarterback that's up for renegotiation, right? I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I think Jalen Ramsey and there was another cornerback that were up for contracts where they backed the truck up. The Rams did what they call in football. They backed the truck up for Jalen Ramsey and paid him a lot of money to come there. What that did was the other cornerback may not have gotten the same thing, but guess what? They seen the value in a cornerback. They seen where the market goes. They seen that the market is this high. See, if Lamar Jackson would have went into a contract or had his contract disputed last year, which I think they were, but his contract wasn't up. So he was still under his old contract. This year, his contract is up. Last year, if his contract would have been up, he could have been in that same realm with Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson set a precedence at that position at that time where he got 240 million, right? 240 million. So now what happens is so much of that is guaranteed. So now here comes Lamar, his contract is up. No, he's not up against anybody else whose contract is up. So there's not a number that he can compare. Yeah, he could reach back and say Deshaun got this and he haven't even played for 2 years. I've been MVP of the league. Come on now. So he's not up against anybody. So and then you have so many quarterbacks that are coming out. You got quarterbacks that are in free agency. In my mind, would you get a quality or somebody that's known as a runner and he's still developing as a passer, which that means that it's really scary. Would I be willing to give that up? No. Could I pay him? Yes, I could. But at the end of the day, and if you're saying you're going on performance, well, you haven't really gave him anything to play with. You've traded away Marquise Brown. The running back position is not there. You don't have really talented linemen in the front of him. So at the end of the day, who fault is it? He's hurt because he's running so much. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make something happen. Could his turnovers be lessened? Yes, he lost some turnovers. So I'm comparing that to FedEx and UPS because right now, what's happening is FedEx is a player for you go in and you want business. You trying to seek business. And it's not this is not just right now. That you're always in the mode of getting people business because you want to consider yourself the best in the market. FedEx and UPS is two of the best in the markets. They're the best quarterbacks in transportation. So at the end of the day, now that UPS is up for contract and they're trying to negotiate contracts between them and their workers, they may not see eye to eye. They may, behind closed doors, you don't know what's going on. But I can wait and understand what's going on. So I'm gonna make a play just in case the Teamsters not getting what they want for their workers. I'm gonna make a play. It's gonna work for me in two ways. Either I'm gonna get your business, or I'm gonna push UPS towards the worker, towards giving the workers what they want. So you're gonna benefit either way, workers. You're gonna be benefit either way. Don't look at it as you're gonna lose your job or your businesses. No, you're not gonna lose. They're actually putting pressure on UPS to see things your way. Now, if they don't see it your way, now they could lose some customers. And those customers they do lose, FedEx is going to make them a priority. But they're only going to make them priority in the next 30 days. If they don't come over in the next 30 days, then after the 30 days, you won't be priority. We'll fit you in where we can, meaning that we're not going to be under contract with you. We're going to treat you like, okay, you calling in, we're going to treat you like you're a, um, what can I say? Like you're a individual shipping a package. Okay, we may get it, we may not. We may get it today, we may get it tomorrow. It may get there the next day, it may not. It may get there in 3 days, it may not. So at the end of the day, they're giving UPS customers the opportunity to come over and be prioritized. Let's go on. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. So it's a possibility that if they don't come to a new contract agreement, that they just said it. 350,000 UPS Teamsters members walking off their job by August 1st. Do I think it'll get there? Nah. Like I said, I think they'll come to a agreement. I think they'll come to an agreement. I think they'll work it out. But yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, like right now, like I said, Lamar Jackson is probably the weaker of the two out of Baltimore management and him getting what he wants in the contract. His pitch is probably weak right now because of the fact that it's so many quarterbacks that are on the market. I guarantee I guarantee you they looking at Aaron Rodgers. If Green Bay if Green Bay didn't have Justin Love, I guarantee you they would be looking at doing the sign and trade between the two teams. Okay, give Baltimore, give Lamar what he wants. Give Lamar what he wants. We already under contract with Aaron Rodgers. If you want Aaron Rodgers, we'll take we'll do a quarterback swap. And we'll take on the contract of Lamar Jackson, and you take on the contract of Aaron Rodgers. That could happen. And so all FedEx is doing is making a play while UPS is going through this. And that's the only downfall of having a, well, I'm not gonna say the only because I've never been a part of it, but I think that's a downfall of having somebody going in talking for you, is the fact that you're pretty much waiting for them to tell you what to do, to either strike or not strike. So it's basically is basically you're waiting to see what your lawyer says to do, whether you're going to strike or not strike, whether you're going to be there or not be there. So that's really where they are with it, which hopefully, for the sake of the workers and their livelihood, that, they come to some agreement. You know what I'm saying? But because I work for FedEx, look here, man. I say bring on the work. Bring on the work. It's just like I don't think UPS would be, out of business if some of their customers came over to FedEx, because you can ride out a contract. We rolling with FedEx so y'all get y'all business together for the next year. So y'all get y'all business together. Okay, we'll see y'all in 2024. We'll do a new contract and we'll come on back. In the meantime, in between time, hey, you might like our service. We may offer something that UPS didn't offer. Never know. But that's business. That's business. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what's going on. And with that, it says as of Friday, few UPS shippers are anything but watch and wait in watch and wait mode, Scarver said. However, should the spring and early summer pass without a deal, he believes that shippers will start to panic. So the thing about it is the March 31st date is not for UPS. The March 31st date is for anybody who's scared and leery about what's going to happen with UPS and the workers. Hey, come on over before then, and you'll be priority to us. But if you wait until after the 31st and try to see what's happening by the spring and by the summer and then on into August, hey, by the time, when that comes through, well, you may get in, you may not. You may get on our list, you may not. That's basically what they're saying. They're not pushing them to come over now. They're pushing them to say, hey, right now you can be priority, but after 31st, you can't. That's all they're saying. UPS losing business? No, they're not losing business. They're in a contract. You go into contract negotiations in 6 months out. So in August, the contract is up. Do I think they're going to come to an agreement? Yes. You got 6 months. You got 6 months to come to an agreement, because the contract is not over until August the 1st if you don't come to an agreement. One key point is that regional carriers have said they have no plans to be stock gaps for UPS shippers. They will be loath to accept new business if it isn't a part of a long-term deal to keep business there if and when a strike ends or if one is averted. So people ain't trying to bring on UPS customers and just have them leave if the strike doesn't happen. So that means that, hey, you got to go into a year, 2 year, maybe even a 5-year contract with us. So you can sit there and teeter totter with UPS if you want to, or you can come over here and be on solid foundation is basically what they're saying. They're basically saying that we have a solid foundation where theirs is kind of shaky right now. They're trying to get their foundation back solid. Much has been made of the upcoming negotiations, which are expected to start later than usual and be loaded with Veritol, whatever that is. UPS executives are confident a deal can be reached long before the end of July. Just in case, however, UPS managers will not be allowed to take paid time off in July and August in case they are needed to move packages. Yeah, see there? So now the manager's going to have to get in those trucks. If UPS workers walk out, the manager's going to have to get in those trucks. And guess what? Their salary. Their salaries. So guess what? And the thing about it is when they get in the trucks, they're going to put people that are in, they're not part of the union. See, you got UPS has what you call a cage. You got workers that go in their cage, and every day they pull workers from that cage. Some get pulled, some don't. But they have to go to that cage until they get on full time or part time. So when they go to that cage, you got workers that are in the warehouse that load the trucks, and you have drivers that come in and deliver the packages. Well, the ones that are part of the union are the drivers. So now that when the drivers they strike and they don't go, guess who gets in the truck? The people who are loading the trucks and the people who are in management to teach those who are loading the trucks how to deliver. So now you're moving people out of the warehouse. But this was happening. I'm going to have to load my truck and deliver, which is what our ground workers do. Okay, you're gonna have to load your truck. Now you're gonna have to load it up and get out there and deliver it, which means that you're working longer hours, and it's a little bit more strenuous. But you're making the money. You're still not part of the union, but you're making money through UPS. They pay the union every paycheck. The union gets a percentage of the worker's paycheck. That's part of the dues. That's part of the being a part of a union. UPS shippers are generally very loyal, and most would be unwilling to break away large volumes as a contingency. If nothing else, the FedEx ploy may convince some low hanging fruit to make a change, according to industry experts. Meaning that low hanging fruit, meaning that they are not priority to UPS, but if they take advantage, they could be priority to FedEx, meaning they'll move up the ladder on the FedEx side versus being on the bottom side with UPS. In a statement, UPS said it is normal and expected that our competitors try to scare our customers, especially during our contract negotiation years. UPS remain aligned with the Teamsters on many contract issues, the company said. So at the end of the day, basically what they're saying is that, hey, look here, during our contract time is normal for our competitors to come in and try and poach poach our competitors. But hey, it's expected. It's expected. And we are looking forward, you know what I'm saying, to working with our we're looking forward to working with our Teamsters in order to get, make sure we are on the same track together. And so I think that's where they are with that. I think everything will work itself out. But this business, it's business. It's nothing personal. It's business. Always business. If it's make money, it makes sense. And so that's where that's where they are with that. That's where the article is. That's where that's where things reside. Uh it's just business, basically. Do I think it's something to be alarmed about? No. No, I don't think I don't think that it's something to be alarmed about. Like he said, I think that it'll work itself out. But if it doesn't, guess what? Companies know that they have options. They have options. And so at the end of the day, that's just what it is. That is just what it is. My guest still hasn't shown up yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead with my show as usual and go ahead on and go in and find these articles that I've been trying to get to. And so I'm going to go over here. Tweaks drug and alcohol clearinghouse. So let's talk about this one. Let's talk about this one. FMCSA plans to tweaks to drug. See that? Yeah. To drug and alcohol clearinghouse. Let's go in it. And so why is this so important? Why is this so important? Let's read the article a little bit. Let's skip on past that. And once again, shout out to Landline News. This is Landline News. Shout out to them. I get a lot of news from Landline now. Go check them out. Go subscribe to their page and get the updates. They'll keep you posted. And all I do is take their articles and try to break it down the way that we understand it. And so let's talk about this clearinghouse. Let's look at what they're saying. Wait a minute. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. Hey, darling, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumb. Okay. So right now, here we are on the Freight Trapping Podcast. I am your host, Mr. James Roberts. We just got through talking about FedEx and UPS. We were going into the clearinghouse. As usual, I was doing some news, waiting on my guest to get in. So right now, my guest is in the green room. And so right now, we are going to bring in my guest for the evening. Um, she goes by DJ Nick on TikTok. She goes by Nicole Robinson in her real life. She's a mother, she's a wife. She made the transition over from healthcare over to what we know now as the trucking industry. She's a part of the women truckers in the industry, and I love to interview them, and I want to welcome him in. And now, if you guys are ready, here is Miss DJ Nick, aka Nicole Robinson.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Hello, 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 ma'am. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm all right. I just got off work and everything just slipped my mind. But I'm here. That's all that matters.
You should have, man. You should have told me. You should have told me. We could have done a later time, or we could have done something. We could have done
Yeah.
a later time. You know
My
what I mean?
apologies. My
Yeah, you
apologies.
should have. You should have told me, because I don't ever want to put anybody in a position where they moving,
Right.
because I know how trucking is. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
I know how trucking is. So, how you doing this evening?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but I'm all right. I got time for you.
Ah, I like it. I like it. We finna have some fun. I'm finna see if I can kind of pep you up a little bit. You know what
All
I'm
right. All
saying?
right. Let's
You know
go.
what I'm saying? So that way you won't feel like, okay, okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
introduce yourself for us, to those of us who may not know you. Just introduce yourself real quick.
Well, I'm Nicole. I am a truck driver. I've been trucking for like 4 years. Um, I just now introduced or got involved in the fuel hauling industry. And that's my new beast. That's what I'll say, because I feel like I'm a brand new trucker all over again.
Feel like you're a brand new trucker all over again. How long you been
Yes,
driving?
4 years.
What
But
did you start out? What did you start out driving?
I started off with Swift, and I was with them for a whole year.
Drive-in?
And yep, dry. I did dry starting out, and then I did reefer, and I
Okay.
kind of like reefer. Reefer was cool for me. And
Okay.
once COVID hit, I just didn't feel comfortable over the road anymore because there was a lot of
Mhm,
things going on. So
mhm.
I went into intermodal, and I did
Okay.
intermodal for
Mhm.
almost 2.5, 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good deal.
Uh-huh.
Good deal. How did you
hmm
like working for Swift?
What was cool? They just wasn't paying, but it was new equipment. My training was great. My driver manager was great. It was a good vibe, but the pay just wasn't there.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask is because a lot of people give Swift a really bad name because a hard time
hmm
because they do give a lot of drivers an opportunity to come in and make money. You know what I mean? And
Right.
they give you a chance, and so a lot of drivers and they probably shouldn't have gave a chance to.
They you right. You right. I had a few friends that had some issues too.
So
So
you know what I mean.
definitely.
So I think that's where they get the short end of the stick at is because they do give drivers but at the end of the day, I do know that they are really bad on getting you home time and getting you stuck
Yes.
out there. So I know that's one of the pet
Yes, they
peeves
do.
I've heard from drivers.
Hey.
So what were you doing?
Mhm.
Let's do this here.
Okay.
Are you married?
I am married. Me and my spouse, my wife, we've been together for 16 years in April. Yeah.
Oh,
So
any
we've been
kids?
married. We both have children. Well, together, four, two
Okay.
two girls and two boys.
Two girls and two boys. Wow, that's
hmm
good. My
But they
cousin,
grown.
they grown out the house.
Out the house.
My cousin and her wife just had a baby.
All right.
And she surprised me because she had the baby. I said, hey, go ahead now.
Oh, hey. Salute to you, sister. Look, I'm not look, not no more. We
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah,
Our,
yeah,
our
yeah. So
youngest is 21.
yeah, cool beans because I mean
hmm
she's young too, they're young too. And so
Okay,
I
that
say,
makes sense.
man, go ahead on now. I just didn't I told her, I said, I didn't think you had it in you.
Mm,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
that's a
But
whole other challenge.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, but I'm happy for them. She has a baby boy,
hmm
and they're doing really great. So, you say you have 4 kids. Y'all have 4 kids all together. Y'all been
Yes,
together 16 years.
yes,
How is life? How did your wife kind of take you because you switched over from healthcare into trucking?
right.
How was that transition for you at home personally?
Well, because I kind of struggled in well, no, let me say it. I don't want to say I struggled. I started from the bottom and worked my way up. I actually started as a PBX operator when I was really young, like my early 20s.
Okay,
And then
so
I
explain what a PBX operator is.
Okay, so a PBX operator is a person or the operator in the hospital. Is where when you call the hospital, they transfer you to the whoever you need, your patient, a nurse, or any station or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I started off doing that, and it was pretty good. It was a good start.
Okay.
Um, but I wanted more, so I went into patient admitting and insurance and things like that. I
Mhm.
did that for a little while, and that's basically patient intake.
Mhm.
I did that for a while, and that wasn't obvious. It was paying the bills, but I wanted more. So
Mhm.
then I went on to a radiologic technician, which is an X-ray tech. So if
Mhm.
anybody has ever broken a bone or anything before, you go in there and get the X-rays taken. That's what I used to
Mhm.
do.
Oh, okay.
hmm
Good
hmm
deal. So you wanted something just a little bit more.
Exactly.
And so you decided. So like I said, how did your wife how did your wife take because it's not an easy thing to
To
accept that
transition.
now, right? That now where my spouse was or my partner was in the bed every night.
Right.
Now, with this new transition and new things, now I have to accept for however how long, 6 months, a year, whatever,
Right.
that they're not there. How was that? Because you guys have more than we ever did back then. We didn't have
Right.
FaceTime and all of that. So
Exactly.
how is it now? How did it transition for you guys with you leaving healthcare and getting into cause did you go over the road for a period?
I did for a year. So let me give you a disclaimer. So my wife and I, we were actually together for 10 years, but we didn't live together. So
Mhm.
she had her own place, I had my own, because we our children were still young. So we didn't
Okay.
transition really into living with each other until we got married.
Mhm.
And once we got married, the only children that were in the home was my son, the youngest, which is 21. So the transition from being in the medical field, it wasn't that bad because my spouse is very independent. so I think
Need
once I
space. Need
yes,
space.
exactly. So but after a while, she was like, no, it's time for you to get back in, at home.
You don't need no more space.
Exactly.
Close this
Exactly.
gap immediately.
Yes. Yes. So it was good until it wasn't good no more.
Right. Exactly. So
hmm
basically, you guys, I think that when you have that, when you make that transition, if you can survive that, I think the relationship between the two, it just gets stronger if you can survive that. That's what I think. Am I
It
right?
did. Yes, you're absolutely right. You
Okay.
know, it was good though. The good thing is I was able to get my experience for over the road
Hmm.
and for that year, and then I came back local. So it
Okay.
worked out.
Cool. You also, you had dreads, right?
I used to have locks all the way to the middle of my back. Yep.
So what made you cut them off? Was it were you in protest for Brittany Griner or what? What made you cut?
No, so for me, a person that's into the locks, I'm very into the culture.
Yeah.
Obviously, the knowledge of having culture, because your
Right.
hair is supposed to be your strength.
Right.
So once
Don't say
I,
that. Don't say that.
yours is all right. It's all right. Look, you got it right there. You good. Uh, no. So for me, it's because I think because I got into the gas thing. Well, let me say it like this. I was living in Riverside, California, and that's for people that are familiar with California. Um, that's about an hour from Los Angeles. So I used to live out in Long Beach for years. Long Beach, California, Compton, California. That was like I grew up
That
all
was
in those areas.
for 2 years. I drove chemicals down to Long Beach
Oh, so you know
from
where it's at.
Houston.
Okay.
Oh yeah, from
Okay.
Houston. I love. Ooh, I loved it. Go ahead.
Yes. So I was living in Riverside, and that's a very like desolate, like very um like
Desert.
desert. Like
Desert.
there's nothing out there.
Mhm.
But for me, I felt like I got my peace out there.
Mhm.
It was really peaceful compared to what the city is.
Mhm.
But my spouse works for the oil refinery as well. Well, we both work for the oil refinery, but she was commuting back and forth,
Mhm.
and it was a lot wear and tear. So I finally got a job out here at the oil refinery, and I think because of the transition,
Mhm.
I just decided, you know what, it's time for something new. It's gonna be a new me and a new journey, and I'm gonna
So
cut my hair.
so let me follow you. You went from healthcare
hmm
to the refinery
hmm
to trucking.
Well, I truck for the refinery.
Ah, so you went from healthcare to trucking for the refinery.
Exactly.
Okay, so did they assist you in getting your CDL, or did you get your CDL before you got there?
I got my CDLs before I got there with Swift.
Good deal. Okay,
hmm
okay. So I just wanted to make sure we understood the process you
This
took in order
transition.
to getting your CDL.
Right.
And so you moved into the refinery so that the wear and tear and make sure that your spouse don't have that for the drive and all of
Exactly.
that kind of stuff. It's a basically a safety thing. You're thinking like what I'm saying, let's make sure you don't have that for the drive or whatever. So
Exactly.
you transition into from healthcare into trucking, and both of you guys are at the refinery.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it.
And so that's where you're now working at hauling gas for them, or are you out
Yes.
of that too?
No, I haul fuel. That's what I do.
Okay. So what's a typical day like for you as a driver? Because for me, I don't think I won't I'm never going to get, and the reason why I'm saying I'm never, because I'm always going to be fascinated with women in trucking.
Right.
I've been in trucking for 19 years.
Oh
And
wow.
even back then I was like, oh wow, a woman trucker. They was like ding, 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 ding. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
can almost point out who other women truckers were, but now you're like 5 here, 4 here. I see 3 driving
Mm-hmm.
down. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
guys are coming in, and I'm with it, but I'm still like, you
Right.
doing flatbed.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, how was your transition? What your day-to-day life is in trucking right now?
Well, to be honest with you, in the beginning, I was super excited. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something new." But I
Mhm,
had I had some tough days.
mhm.
From being stuck in the mud to having blowouts to not knowing how to move a fifth wheel. It was
So
it
tell
was a
me,
challenge.
I don't want. We're gonna get to the glamour and the glitz later on.
Okay, okay.
I want to know. I want to know. Give me a couple of your worst days in trucking. I mean, your absolute
Oof.
worst.
I think the worst day is when I was in Oregon with Swift and I was stuck in the mud. I was tired,
You was an old stuck in the mud type of chick.
stuck in the mud. But let me
Okay.
tell you what happened. I was driving. Well, I was fairly new still. I was brand spanking new,
Okay.
and I was still trying to figure out, my area and where I was going and things like that. So
Mhm,
at this point, I was looking for a place to shut down, a safe haven.
mhm.
So I turned down the wrong street, and GPS, it wasn't work. It was something going on. But I turned
Right.
down this street and I was trying to turn around. I seen an open field and I was like, oh, that looks like I can turn around in the open field. Why I do that? It was like 12 o'clock in the morning. I was sleepy. Yes, yes. And I had to call my dispatch. Mind you, I'm in Oregon.
Hmm.
I'm in Oregon, and Oregon's not too friendly with
Yeah.
people,
With our color. This not
exactly.
TikTok. This not
Okay.
TikTok. This
Okay.
YouTube.
I
Yeah,
can
they
talk
not.
regular. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah. So they
So
not
yeah,
friendly with us, black people.
exactly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So this big redneck type dude comes. He's yelling at me and
Hmm.
saying like, "Don't you know we're in Oregon and it just rained and what
Hmm.
are you doing making a U-turn right here?" And
Hmm.
at this point, I'm kind of like, it's 12 o'clock in the morning, and
Hmm.
I'm in the middle of nowhere with this redneck looking man. So I'm scared at this point.
Hmm.
But he ended up being a nice gentleman. He
Hmm.
guided me over to the truck stop, got me there, actually waited until I was in a safe spot. And he
Hmm.
he turned out being a good guy. And I basically told him I'm new to this.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's one of the days that I'll never forget that day. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That would be a bad day.
yes, it was a
Give me
bad
another
day.
one because I don't want. The reason why I'm asking these, I want another one because the reason why I don't want to see people got the misconception that
It's so
she doing
glamorous.
this. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
after they don't realize I ain't been in this for 2 years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I put in 19 years. I can tell you a bunch of horror stories more than I
Hmm.
can tell you about the glory. You dig what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So give me
Exactly.
another one. Give me
I'm gonna
another
give you
one.
some recent ones.
Hmm.
I just got into field. This is why I feel like I'm a brand new driver again.
Hmm.
Um, with fuel, it's a whole nother beast to where
What
a
is feel?
typical fuel, hauling
Oh, feel.
gas,
Okay, feel. I
fuel,
thought you said feel. My bad. You
fuel.
got that
No, it's
accent.
okay.
You got that
No,
accent. Yeah, you got
fuel,
that accent. Yeah,
haul,
you got that accent.
listen, hauling gas was with like a regular gas station. I actually
Right.
haul regular, plus
Mhm,
or premium.
mhm,
So in that industry, like I said, it's a whole different beast. It's not just backing up and docking into a 53 footer. I actually drive a straight truck with a trailer, and somebody else
Oh,
would see it and they'll be like, "Oh, you driving a double," and it's not really a double, but if you
yeah.
see it, it looks like it's
It looks
a
like a
double,
double. Yeah.
but it's not. But there's no backing up in that. Basically, I mean, you can,
You
but
can.
I'm not
Right.
too good
Yeah.
at that. So a typical day in that would be I start at 3 in the morning.
Mhm.
Um, you don't get a lot of sleep. I'll say that unless you go to bed early.
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
not an early person. I don't go to bed early.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not. TikTok of the dog.
Look, you so funny. Right? Yes, I have my fun. We'll talk about that later. But look,
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to it. Yeah.
okay. So I start at 3 in the morning. I'll say a typical day is just getting your loads, mapping them out, figuring out where you're gonna go. But a recent situation has happened to where I've only been 8 months in the game with this. Never done gas ever. And my first experience or my first situation was I was dropping some gas at a station, and it's these things that you put in the ground. They're called fittings, just so
Mm-hmm.
you can connect those to the hose so the
Mm-hmm.
gas can drop in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, I didn't lock one of them right, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought I did. So I went to open up the valve, and the little fitting just flew in the air, and it was fuel everywhere, gas everywhere. I freaked out. I freaked out. But I cleaned it up. I tried to do the best that I could to clean
Mm-hmm.
it up and see out the company that I work for is so strict. I was supposed to call that in, but
Right.
I didn't.
As an incident. Mm.
And I didn't. And I should have, but it
Right.
kind of just trickled down. It just trickled down because another situation happened. I came back to a station. Oh, I'm sorry. I came back from a station to a rack. And see, I would have to
Mhm.
explain all these things to you. But the
No,
rack,
no. I know what a rack
you know
is,
what a
but
rack is.
right, right,
Okay.
right. Right.
Okay.
You come into the rack and to
To
get
feel.
refuel and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. Yeah, get reloaded. Yeah.
Right. So I came back to the rack to load up and come to
Mhm.
find out I still have fuel in my tank or in my truck. And
So you're
when
not
you
supposed to load on top of.
no,
Mm.
it's something about the blends and things like
Yeah.
that. But mind you,
Yeah.
I'm new to this industry. I
Mhm.
didn't know everything that they had told me. All my sensor lights were off. I knocked on my tank to make sure it
Mhm.
was empty. Everything was supposedly a go for me.
Mhm.
So my when I was loading, it domed out. And when I say domed out, the rack completely stops and you can't load anymore.
Mhm.
And that's another incident. Mind you, this all happened
Mm.
within the same week. All these things. So
Mm.
they my management, the refinery, they were talking to me about this situation, and then
Mhm.
they found out about the spill. So
Mm.
now there's two things on me that
Mhm.
it's just it was a domino effect all the way down. So
Worst week ever. Ever.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I feel you. I do understand, man. I got some stories for you going from flatbed to tanker. Woo, I got stories.
Woo.
But
Okay. Well, you
I do
know.
understand where you coming from. That is the worst week ever. I already
Yep.
know it is.
Yep.
So now that you've gotten past that week
Hmm.
and now you kind of how long did it take you to kind of because I know that typically it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 years in any lane. When I mean any lane, that means if you're doing flatbed, if you're doing reefer, if you're doing LTL, tanker, whatever. I know after about 2 to 3 years, you finally are in the place where you kind of know what everything does, how it all the mechanics, and you know how to handle the X factors that come into play with what you're doing.
Right.
How long did it take you to just kind of settle down, get past that first week, the worst week ever? How long did it take you to settle down and say, I got it now?
Probably about, to be honest with you, before these incidents happened, because this was
Mhm.
the incidents literally happened maybe I would say about a month ago. So I was
Okay.
already 7 months in the game, and I thought I was doing everything right. But I think this is what truckers have always told me. Whenever you feel like you overconfidence
Mhm.
and you're not nervous anymore, it's time for you to
Mhm.
shut it down.
Mhm.
And I think I got a little bit above myself and thought that I knew it, I had it.
Mhm.
And this is when, the creator pull you back down to
Mhm.
yourself and say, look, no, you don't. And I thought I had it, but now I'm realizing that I need to take my time and triple check.
Mhm.
And now I'm back kind of comfortable again, to where I just make sure I backtrack and don't rush and take my time.
Mhm. Yeah, that's whenever you let me tell you something. It's okay to be confident in your
Mhm.
abilities. It's okay to
Right.
be confident in what you know. It's okay to be confident in your skill.
Right.
What's not okay is when you get above your everyday task, when you get into this rhythm of, oh, I'm good, I know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? And even when it comes down to paperwork,
Mhm.
sometimes you can forget to do something on paperwork and they'll
Right.
come back and say, hey, you forgot to do this. Now we can't even charge them for this because
Exactly.
you forgot to do one little thing on your paperwork.
Mhm.
I've had even in LTL after 19 years, I've had that happen to me. I go in, I've been running this customer for 2 years. I know him. I see
Mhm.
the name on there and don't pay attention to the address.
Right.
The
Wow.
address has changed. And
Mhm.
I go to what I think I know is the spot.
Right.
Deliver it. It's a whole nother company there now. Get
Mhm.
that call. Hey man, I need you to go back. What?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I'm already 2 hours into work. I'm almost down to my last delivery. Now I got to go back and pick this up and now take this. Now I'm late for doing my pickups.
The next one, exactly.
So I
Yeah.
understand. I definitely understand. Even I just want people to know that even after 19 years, you still have to be on top of your game.
Yep.
You
Triple
still,
check.
but even with those with that gas,
Mhm.
you have to make sure that that gas is extra sensitive.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. I started out tankers and I took this company brought me on. They was doing well site.
Mhm.
So they asked me, they say, hey, do you want to go to Colorado? They need some help up there at Univar in Colorado. They running chemicals over to uh 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 some of the fracking sites for Baker,
Mm.
not Baker Hughes, for Halliburton.
Mhm.
Say, yeah, let's go.
Mhm.
Let's go. I was so confident because at the end of the day, I had just driven a I'm talking about a raggedy truck all the way
Mm.
from Texas, from Houston to Utah.
Oh, wow.
Now, a driver was supposed to meet me there to offload this isotainer. Do you know what an isotainer is?
No.
Tainer.
No.
It's those little bitty containers that look like they in a cage,
Mhm.
but they're sitting on a chassis. So you can move them in
Mm.
and out from the port. So those are isotainers. The little white, they
Oh,
look like 20
yes.
foot white containers inside of a cage.
Right.
Those are
Right.
called isotainers.
They have DEF. I think they have that at my
Right,
terminal
right,
with
right,
DEF and
right,
diesel. Okay. I think
right.
I know what those are.
And so I was taking one of those. This is my first time ever driving tankers.
Mhm.
I'm taking one of those over to Provo, Utah.
Mhm.
I get on 45 going up 287 and the fan clutch goes out on this raggedy truck.
Mm. Mm.
Now I have to ride 265,
Oh, no.
meaning I got to go 65 miles an hour with two windows rolled down because there's no air conditioning blowing. I
Ooh.
can't run the air conditioner because it wouldn't do no good anyway because no AC is coming through. Then and on top of that, that'll make the truck run hot.
Wow. Mm.
So now I'm calling them, hey man, this thing is going out. Woo, 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 woo. Well, how far?
Right.
I'm on 287. I just made it through Lubbock. I'm going up through
Mhm.
Amarillo.
Mhm.
So now what I do is I say, okay, I'm gonna run at night. I've always been a night runner, right?
Right.
So now I definitely have to run at night because it's cooler.
Right.
So now, long story short, I had to lay over in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in order for them to get the part. And so they brought the part from Denver off of one of the other trucks that they had a unit in. Brought it up
Mhm.
there, had the mechanics put it on. So now I'm heading over. I'm heading on over to Provo. So I have to go up through Cheyenne on 25 and shoot over on 80, then drop down back into Colorado and then take a state highway in Colorado all the way over to Utah because I didn't want to run up 70 West in that truck,
Wow.
right?
Wow. Mhm.
So I go into Provo through Colorado on that state highway. I get up to the spot
Mhm.
and I tell them, I say, hey man, I'm here to deliver. And so they say, well, we're gone for the day. You're gonna have to. I said, okay, I'll sit right here. So I drop the isotane and go into town, have me some lunch or whatever. We'll come back, and I'm there for the night.
Mhm.
Get up the next morning, go into the plant, and the dude tells me, I say, hey, somebody supposed to meet me here to offload this because I don't know how to offload this.
Right.
I called the company. Mind you, my signal going in and out because I'm in the mountains. I
Mm.
have to stand in a certain spot in order to
Get
now.
reception.
Now he tells me, well, the guy's not gonna make it.
What? Let me turn
The
this
guy
down.
gonna call you and he's gonna show you how to offload the isotainer.
Mhm. He gonna
I don't
call
know.
you. No, no, not over the phone. Oh
No,
no.
no, no. I'm wrong. They told me that they were gonna call me. So I dropped the trailer in front. That was the day before. I dropped the trailer, went into town. They got me a hotel. I'm waiting at the hotel because now they're hot shotting. I don't have any couplings. None. No boy, no girl. I don't have no locks to tie it down the way if it pops open that I don't have anything that I don't have nothing on this truck because I was only supposed to bring it up there, let the other driver unload it, and I take the empty back down to Denver along with the truck
Oh my
and leave the
gosh.
truck in Denver.
Mhm.
I get to the hotel room. They hot shot all of the stuff. So now I have a signal. The guy's telling me, he sent me pictures. Hey, this is where you hook this up. This is where you hook that up. This is the outflow. This is the inflow. This is where it's coming out. This is the line you hook up to them. This is the line you hook up to yours. This is the bottom hose. This is the top hose. This is the girl. This is the boy. This is this and this and that.
Oh wow.
I got pictures of this. Pictures of this. So the whole night I'm looking at these pictures. I'm remembering what he's saying. If you need me, call me. I say, oh, I'm gonna call you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I'm thinking to myself, I won't be able to call you because my signal's bad
Oh.
up on the mountains. So I'm sitting there looking at these photos, making sure I'm kind of visualizing what I'm supposed to do.
Mhm.
I sit there, I say, man, you got this. This ain't nothing. You been
Right.
out at the time I had been driving for 8 years, nine
Mhm.
years. Man, you
Right.
got this. Go get it.
Right.
I'm hyping myself up. Go get it. Let's go, man. You got this.
Right.
Show these people they got what kind of driver they got. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Long story short, next day come, I go up, go to the mountain. I'm ready. Hook up to the trailer, pull it in. They tell me where they want it. I back it down,
Uh,
stop, get ready to call the dude. No signal. So I'm walking around trying to see where I need to stand to get a signal. I
uh,
find the spot. Put the phone down right there. I don't move the phone no more because if I need to call him, I just need to be able to go over there.
right.
So the pictures are pulled up. I'm looking at the picture. Go back. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
boom. Got it.
Okay. Okay.
So now the dude say, you ready? So I got the air hooked up at the top to where it can, you got to build your pressure up in the tank so that it can gravity feed
Mhm.
through and go into the. So I say, yeah. So the air finally fills up the air pocket that's in the tank,
Mm,
in the container. So it fills up
mm,
the air pocket. I'm ready. I see the pressure gauge.
mhm.
Boom. Open it up. Oof. Start rolling. You can see the line humping. It's moving.
Okay. Right.
So I say, okay, I'm good. Let's go. I'm sitting there watching. I'm watching. I'm watching. Long story
Nice.
short, I get everything offloaded. I get everything done. Woo, 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 woo. Get the man to sign my paperwork off, and I call the company. Hey, man, it's done. Woo, 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 woo. Hook the lines back up, put them back on the rack, time down, everything.
Uh. Uh-oh.
I thought I was gonna leave the trailer so
Mhm.
they can come get it. Dude say, now go ahead and pull that empty trailer back to Denver. We gonna pay you. So now I'm not finna go back. I'm not finna take that state highway to Colorado. I'm going 70 west. I'm gonna take 70 east
Right.
back into Denver.
Mhm.
I take 70 east back into Denver. No, I already knew about Quail,
Mhm.
Colorado. I already know
Mhm.
that you can go there in the summertime and you'll get up there and it's cold and you might get a little sleet up there. You know what I mean? I already
Mhm.
know about Vail.
Mhm.
I get up there. The only thing I wanted to do was go ahead and get past Vail
Mhm.
because I didn't know how this truck was gonna perform over there. Long story short, I make it into Denver. Everything is cool, but
Mhm.
I don't think if I didn't have the confidence and the experience to say, man, you got this, you can handle this, I would have never made it through.
Whew.
But that was one of the worst time. It was worth it
Mhm.
because when I dropped that truck off and they took me to the hotel and I got some rest, and then the next day they put me on that plane and brought me back to Houston.
Mhm.
And then the next week I seen that check. I was like, ooh, it was worth it, but
It
I
was
ain't doing
worth
it
it.
again. I
I
ain't
don't blame you.
I ain't
No.
doing it. But that
No.
experience, that experience built my confidence up. It
Right.
built my confidence up, and I got too confident.
Uh-oh.
They sent me back to Denver to
Mhm.
work with Univar. They flew me this time.
Mhm.
Flew me down to Denver. Went over there, got a truck, did the first run in Univar. Good, cool. Second run, I'm picking up from Halliburton.
Mhm.
All right, one of the frack yards.
Mhm.
Dude told me, "Hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and let it run. So, just watch it." No, no,
Mhm.
no. I'm delivering. So he said, "I'm gonna go ahead and let it run. I'm gonna go in here." Boo, boo, boo. I said, "Okay."
Mhm.
I go back to the truck. I didn't realize how fast it was loading. I go back to the truck. I'm doing paperwork. I look in my rear view mirror. I say, "Is that liquid coming on the side of that container?" I
Oh
got
my
out and I
God.
look. I say, "Oh shit, it's overflowing."
Uh-huh.
They come out there. Luckily, they had a spill pad under the tank, but that spill pad had about 2 feet of liquid in it,
What?
and the spill pad was bad. I mean that was ooh, man. When I tell you, you know what I'm saying? That was the first incident. But after that, I was like, bro, it was over. I laid that same during that same period,
Mhm.
that same week. I was taking an isotainer out to the fracking site, and in
Mhm.
Colorado, those county roads, you doing this here, and they got a
You
spring
bouncing.
trailer.
Right.
That wind blowing, and I'm trying to look. I'm in the same ragged truck. Both of them got
Right.
both. Don't neither one of them got no airbags on them. They both spring ride.
Oh
So I'm
no.
bouncing in the truck. The trailer bouncing behind me. Oh, I know it. The back tire of the chassis had
Mhm.
bounced off the road, and they didn't
What?
have a deep ditch, but it was one of those ditches that just went like that. So the back tire jumped off the side of the off the county road, and that back tire started laying down. And when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, "Well, I'm losing speed," and I'm looking, and all of a sudden, I look in my passenger mirror. And the ISO Tainer just slowly doing this here.
Oh.
Slowly doing this here. It just ever so lightly laid down. It didn't thump or
Woo.
anything like that. It didn't thump. It just ever so lightly laid down.
And this is
I
hazmat.
This is hazmat.
Woo.
This is hazmat. I'm telling you. I was just kind of like, what the hell just happened?
Oh no.
And that's
Oh
when I
no.
learned that's when I learned that the outside of a tank, that
Mhm.
shiny part,
Mhm.
that's just a cosmetic.
Right.
You have fiber on the inside of it, that the insulation
Mhm.
that keeps the chemical either cool or hot or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's a coating that they have, and so When it laid down, it didn't damage the tank. It just messed up all of the insulation and the outside of the isotainer.
Oh
And
wow.
so no liquid spilled out, none of that spilled out. But that was the second one. And so at that point, I was shook after that because
Oh yeah.
that was
Oh,
a
you should.
rollover. But I didn't get a ticket because we was on a county road,
Hmm.
and it went down for them. It's just an incident. And
Right.
so a wrecker had to come out and pick the truck up, and one of the drivers had to come get me because everything had to stay at the fracking site. He took me to a hotel. The next day they said, okay, you coming on back. Of course, I already knew that when I was going back, I was done anyway. I was
Right.
finna leave because I was like, nah, I'm not going back up there, and
This is
y'all
not
ain't.
it.
And so at the end of the day, that's just some of the stuff I didn't been through that I've
Ooh
learned from.
wee. And you walked away from, but you walked away from that. So
Oh
that's
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
ooh.
So back to you. Back to you.
Okay.
So how are you liking your newfound position now? Have you ah
It's funny that you just said that story. I, we'll put it this way.
uh-oh.
Right now, don't get me wrong. I love trucking, period. I think it's something it was meant for me to do. I like trucking, period.
Mhm,
Um, but the fuel industry is interesting.
mhm,
It's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
mhm,
And I'm learning how to manipulate these hoses, and I'm learning how to
mhm,
make sure I do the proper ergonomics for my body so
mhm,
my body won't hurt. So
mhm.
in the beginning, I used to call out all the time, I'll be honest, because it was my body was sore. I wasn't used to all this movement.
Right,
So
right.
now I'm getting used to it. But our company, the company that I work for, we're dealing with negotiations, and they're not trying to pay us the same amount that the other carriers are making. So it's kind of exactly. So it's kind of putting me back in a limbo situation to where I'm like, good thing I have my license and I can go back to where I was. Because if I'm gonna haul hazardous materials, I honestly think, well, no pay is worth that type of material. I can honestly say, but
Look, I know for sure that you can either go back into the plants and be a loader
mhm.
if you wanted to, or I'm gonna tell you something else. Get into cryogenics.
And see, I thought about that too.
Cryogenics is some of the cleanest. Man, if I'd have knew about cryogenics when I first got in the tankers, which they probably wouldn't have hired me because you need to have experience.
Okay,
But when I did get into cryogenics, man, that was some of the cleanest work you ever want to do, and it was no wear and tear on your body. None. You don't have to
right,
climb on top of no tanks. You don't have to take.
right,
You don't have to check no manhole at the top. You ain't got to do none of that.
right, right.
It's straight on the ground. Only thing you have to do is be alert and watch your
Exactly.
gauges in the back of the trailer. But it is worth it. I promise you, it is worth it. But I mean, if you wanna start trying to move around and move up, I would check
Right.
cryogenics,
Okay.
because that's some clean work. It's not hard at all. People hear
Okay.
nitrogen, they think about nitrogen liquid.
Right.
No. Hey, Miss ASK is in the building. X
Hey,
ASAP. She say greetings.
how you doing?
Uh but that's some good work. You
Okay.
down there in Long Beach, you say, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, check. I mean, I don't know if you want to move into LTL. That's really light work. It's not hard on
Okay.
your body.
Okay.
If I knew
And
about
see,
this
and
19.
that's what I'm looking for because I'm getting older. I'm 43 years old. So I'm just
Mhm,
like, I want to work smarter, not harder, you know? And
mhm,
I'm not saying the gas thing is not it's not bad. It's just right now when you dealing with my money, see, I'm
mhm.
that's where I'm at
That's
now.
me.
See,
That's me.
when you
That's
messing with my
me.
money.
That's the only reason. Believe it or not, that's the only reason I left cryogenics is because the company I was working for, they
Mhm.
were getting ready to sell,
Mm,
and I didn't want to go through that again, and I didn't want to be
okay.
caught in the middle of that. So I said, okay, let me do something else. It just so happened it was the right time and it was the right situation. I
Right.
applied for FedEx. They
Mhm.
called me in. They hired me. When can you start? in two
Okay.
weeks. You know what I'm saying? And so I did it the right way. If I ever wanted to go back, I could. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
nice.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop. And so
Right.
this
I
is
don't
my
blame you.
last stop. Yeah, this is
And
my
and and
last
see,
stop.
and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out, get something that's I don't want to keep moving over it and moving and moving and moving. I want to stay
Mhm.
somewhere and be comfortable.
Yeah, thank you for your support, Miss Will Rock Consulting, man. Y'all go check her out on Facebook and on TikTok, Will Rock Consulting. That's what she do. She's coming up soon too. Her interview's coming up soon too.
All right.
So So tell me what it is that you want to do with your license. We've already discussed it. We kind of touched on it in your own words. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go with your license?
You know what?
With your
To be
career in
in in
driving?
in all honesty, the reason why I even got into this industry, because I could have stayed in the medical field and had clean work. You know what I mean? And been okay with that. Um, but I didn't want to deal with the corporate America. So for me, I always wanted to buy me a truck, even though I know right now the market is not that great. But it's the best time to buy a truck if you have the money, because trucks are cheap
Right,
now.
right,
So
right.
right now, if things don't work out with the company I'm with right now, I think I'm gonna get me a truck, and I'm gonna go and try to figure out the owner operator avenue.
And the avenue you also can take with that is get into a lease agreement.
Well, I'm in
And
California.
uh
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
yeah.
But I got family out of state, so I can always switch over my CDLs there.
And you don't even have to really switch over. I mean, you
Right.
can you can operate as a business and like say for instance, you want to get into cryogenics, you can lease on
Hmm.
to this place called Genox. I know you and Megan was having a
Megan.
having a
Right.
conversation.
Right.
I pulled up on her Thursday.
Uh-huh. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I told her you just don't never
Yeah.
know. You don't never know. I pulled up
Exactly.
on her. She rolling on side of me. I say,
Right.
"What you doing?"
Right, right. Yeah, she gave me her
So
number, so I told her I'm gonna
yeah,
reach out to her to
yeah,
figure out
yeah.
how to,
Get with her. I don't wanna put her business out there. But guess what?
yeah.
It, that
Right.
that's a clean lease to own program that you could probably get into. A lot of drivers over there. Just look into it. Look into
Okay.
it. I'm all about
Definitely.
helping. I'm all about helping people get into that next level.
I
Um,
appreciate it. I
what are
do.
what what's one of the what's one of the what's the best benefit of being a truck driver?
The independence, the freedom, the the older I get, to be honest with you, the more I kind of want to be by myself. I don't want to be in a room where there's the same people that I'm seeing for 20 years, and we all greet each other. Good morning, good evening. How's your family? And I'm not saying that I'm not a people person, because I am a people person, but I want to be
Right.
a people person at my convenience.
Okay. Yeah. When you want to. Yeah.
Exactly.
When you want
Exactly.
to. Yeah. Not because you
Yes.
have to. Yeah.
And that's what I love about trucking.
I mean, that's wonderful. That's
Hmm.
wonderful. Now we've talked about trucking, we've talked about healthcare, we've talked about your family. Now
Right.
let's get into this. Let's
I
get
already
into
know.
this. Yeah, let's get into this. Let me show you. Let's get into this. Yeah, we got a DJ. Yeah, yeah, if you don't know, her name is DJ Nick on TikTok.
Right.
She's a DJ. So I know the DJ game is very profitable.
Yeah, it is.
Why not go 10 toes down and knee deep into DJing?
Um, to be honest with you, that's kind of what direction I'm trying to go into now. Because I've had my equipment for at least a year now, and I haven't put my all into it. And recently, like TikTok actually developed the platform for me, or not just for me, but I'm able to get on there and just mess around with it. I'm actually dealing with some other DJs, and they showing me some different avenues and how to get
Technique.
myself into venues and yeah, exactly. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to sharpen my skills up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
When once I get them sharpened to a where I feel I'm comfortable at, then
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely go in that direction.
Okay, that's a nice skill set to have
Oh yeah,
outside of that, especially
and
if
I
you
love
can.
it.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell, especially if you can, especially if you get on with one of those LTLs and you working Monday through Friday and you got the weekend off.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's one of those. So tell me. Yeah. So tell me, I ran into your one of
I
your
seen you was
midnight
in one,
lives. Yeah, I
right?
ran into one of
Right.
your midnight lives on TikTok. I say, man, everybody screen dark. I say, oh, she must be putting it down up in here. What what gets your groove going on TikTok when it comes down to, because TikTok is a hell of an avenue.
Right,
When you get, when you find that good vibe, when you
right.
don't, cause I'm a part of it and I've got down with it.
Hmm.
What gets you into that groove? And you know in that groove, and you know I'm gonna be here for a minute. When do you know you need to just pull out everything in the crate because you're gonna be here for a minute?
When everybody turn their screens on and they like, let's go, and we got the gifts coming in, and the vibe is right. Everybody drinking, they got they drinking they two step. That's what get the vibe going. It's a whole vibe
Hey,
then.
because I'm gonna tell you, we when we was on with Soul Trucker
Oh yes.
that night, we was on with Soul Trucker,
Hmm.
and you cranked the table up and he put you in the big box.
Right.
Yeah, I promise you, I feel like a MC. I feel like, hey, this my DJ.
Yes.
Y'all tip my DJ, man.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I was vibing. It was cool. And then I say, that's why I told you. I say, when we get on there, what we gonna talk about?
Right.
Yeah. So I love the energy you bring to it. I love the your take.
Hmm.
I just want to encourage you to keep going.
I
If you
am.
love what you do, uh learn your techniques, get in it, build up your audience, and I think you're gonna go forward with it along with your truck driving career. Is it
I
anything we
appreciate that.
missed? Is it
No,
anything we missed?
I think you nailed it down all the way. Yeah. You hit all the avenues.
So let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
What do you think, either in life, well, what can you improve on? What's some of your weaknesses in life, meaning in with your relationship with your partner first? What are one of
Mhm.
your weaknesses that you know that you can improve on?
Time, because I feel like sometimes I'm stretched all over to where I'm I'm a people pleaser,
Mm-hmm.
and I always want everybody to be cool. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like I don't like bad energy. I like
Mm-hmm.
positive vibes. So I think I need to know when to say, okay, I'm gonna just walk away from the situation instead of me trying to tell a person, no, come on, like just reason with them to help them understand that, nah, just be cool. Everybody not gonna think the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I've been working on in my life is to stop trying to get people to have the same mindset as you,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody not gonna have the same mindset. And just learn how to walk away.
What is one weakness that can get better in your trucking career?
Um, and trucking, uh, not quite sure as of yet. I'm trying to let me think. Because I'm good at what I do. No,
ah,
no,
ah.
I'll say, you know what? Patience. I had a situation today to where I thought I wanted to really put my foot up in somebody. You know what? And
I understand.
my
Hey, believe me, I understand what you mean when you say patience. I understand.
my patience, and I'll tell y'all, being at a gas station, you don't know really what goes on at gas stations until you sit there for an hour
Mm-hmm.
to see. It's a lot. So I had a couple of people today that I really wanted to just give them, but my patience, I did good. I said, I'm gonna keep my job today. So yeah. So yeah.
uh, what is a weakness in your hobby, which is DJing, that you want to improve on?
I can't drink when I'm DJing. That's if I do drink, it can't be the hard liquor. Let's say that. It gotta be just maybe some wine, couple of beers, not too many, because I'll get in that groove, y'all. Ooh, it's yeah. So no
Hey,
drinking while you're DJing.
no drinking while you're DJing.
No.
That's
Too
cool.
much. Too much that is.
That's cool. So I had this little thing I just came up with.
Hmm.
It's called uh bigger or smaller.
Hmm.
And what you would say is, if you need this bigger, say bigger. If you need it smaller, say smaller. If you do it bigger, say bigger. If you do it smaller, say smaller.
Okay.
Okay. This segment is called Biggest Smalls.
Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So this segment is called Biggest Smalls. You're the first one I'm ever doing this with. And
Okay.
so it's just gonna be a rapid things that I want you to say, big or small.
Okay.
Okay. Food,
Big.
kisses,
Big.
exercising,
Ooh. It should be big, but it's small.
I'm gonna give you an easy one. Paycheck.
Ooh, always big. Always big.
Clothes.
Mm, big. I'll say big.
Social media.
Small. Because sometimes yeah, small. Even though I DJ on there, but sometimes you got to know when to walk away.
I
Woo!
already know, because the other day
Yeah.
I seen in the comments, and then you finna get ready to address it. I was like, "So Chucker, don't let her do it because we vibing."
Yeah.
I seen it
Exactly.
down there, and I was like, "What? What's going on?" I was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
I seen it. I seen it. That's why I asked you that."
Hmm.
Family,
Definitely big.
cooking,
Big. I love to burn.
favorite meal,
Ooh, so many. But I would have to say chili and sea bass.
Chilean sea bass,
Chili and sea
mm,
bass. My
Chilean sea
favorite.
bass.
It's a fish.
Yeah,
Hmm.
big or small.
Big.
I do it. Hey, if
I
that's your favorite, it gotta be big, right?
like big.
It gotta
Yes.
be big.
Yes. I got to share with my wife.
Shower.
Big.
Good deal. So that's the end of Biggest Smiles. I want to thank you for participating in Biggest Smiles.
All right. Yes. Yes.
You was the first contestant on Biggest Smiles.
Yes. Yes.
That's
I
my new
like that
segment.
game.
Yeah, that's my new segment, Biggest Smiles. Go big or go small.
Hmm.
I want to thank
That's
you
right.
so much for taking out time to join me, coming in after getting off of work, giving me your time. Thank your wife for allowing you. Miss A said this was so good.
Oh,
I'm
thank
getting
you. I'm gonna
better.
follow you, sis. I'm gonna follow you, sis.
Yeah, follow her. She's yeah, she's on TikTok. Will Rock Consulting on Facebook. All of that.
Okay.
She actually did a tribute to truckers in February for Black History.
Oh wow.
Uh
Okay.
sis, I think you should keep it going. I would hope that you would do one trucker a month
Hmm.
for Black History all year long. So that's an idea. One trucker a month for Black History. Um like I said, I want to thank you for giving me your time, giving me your effort, giving me your laughs, giving me
Hmm.
everything that I asked. And was it everything you thought it was gonna be?
Everything. It's real chill though. I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous, but I came and You executed it great. So I thank
Hey,
you for allowing me to even be here on your platform.
man, looky here. I'm no matter how big I get, I'm small. Get it?
Oh,
Big and
you so
smalls.
humble.
You get it? Big and smalls.
Yeah, I get it. You so funny.
So, man,
Yes.
I appreciate you. I thank you really from the bottom of my heart for taking out your time. It's not a lot of people that would it's not a lot of people that would, say yes. It's a lot of people that are scared. I don't do a lot
Ooh.
of that. You were scared?
No, I'm looking at her the
Oh
comments.
yeah.
She
Oh
said,
yeah.
if I'm
Yes.
interested, I will
Oh yeah.
definitely I need some consulting, sister. Trust
Yes.
me.
Um, I thank you for coming on. A lot of people are afraid, but you know, I always say conquer your fears. And this was one of my fears. My wife pushed me
Mhm.
into doing this. She said, tell your story. You need to be told. I wanted to actually tell other trucker stories. And even though
Right.
I love doing research on the news and putting stuff out there that we may have missed, I
Mhm.
love interviewing truckers even more, like yourself.
Right.
And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for coming on, taking out the time. I know you could be asleep, chilling with your wife right now, but you
Mhm.
gave me an hour of your time, and I really appreciate you. And I thank you, sis.
Oh, thank you, Freight. Thank you so much. And I want to talk to you off here eventually so we can build on some other avenues because you told me a lot of knowledge and and like you said, you like to help people and I'm
Mhm.
I'm here to learn.
Hey, hit me up. Hit me
For
up.
sure. For sure.
You told me you put your number in
The
my
email
DM.
or probably in the DM or email, but I have your email so I can definitely send you my information
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. I got you. I got your email. You got mine. So
Okay.
email me and we'll be in contact and we can talk about all of that. I'm
Right.
with all of that. I'm always with helping somebody out. And
Okay.
so as we move forward, man, I just want to say, may God cover you, you and your family. May He cover your career.
Thank you.
May He always have His hands on you in a protection mode as well as in a grace and mercy mode. And may the favor of Him always be on you. I'm big with that.
Mhm.
And thank you. Any last words?
No, thank you, and same to you, brother. That's a blessing for you to even say that, say all those kind words, and tell your wife I said hi because I know her from social media. So, and that's crazy. It's like a small world. It's a small world.
It's always gonna be a pleasure to. I love connection, and I love
Hmm.
connecting, and so that's why
Yeah.
I'm pushing forward on this. And so, man, I want to thank DJ Nick for being on. Like I said, any
Hey,
last
baby.
words? Any advice or
No.
anything to any new driver? Anything you want to say? The floor is yours.
The last word. I would say if you're gonna get into this industry, just make sure you do your research first. Cause I know a lot of people that has gotten into this and they didn't do their research and it wasn't what they thought it was gonna be. How I found out about trucking, I followed several YouTubers and I got an idea from that. And I went going with my with the wheels to the ground, you
Mhm.
know. So do your research before you get into this industry because it's not for everybody.
Exactly. Hey, with that being said, hey man, shout out to my guest DJ Nick.
Hey,
And thank you for being on. And I'm gonna probably call on you
all
soon.
right. I can't
Thank
wait.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Talk to
Have a
you
good
soon.
night. Bye
You too.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Once again, thank you to DJ Nick for being on the show. Thank you for Will Raw Consulting for chiming in. Thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. I have been your host, Mr. James Roberts. I am going to get back into dropping my news edition. I got away from it because I love interviewing my drivers. I love interviewing business minded people, spiritual people. I love interviewing anybody in the industry. So I want to thank DJ Nick again, like I said, because she could have been anywhere doing anything else, but she chose to be here on the Freight Trapping Podcast. And I absolutely love it. Hey, man, once again, This has been the Freight Trapping Podcast on the Sunday afternoon. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Love, peace, and hair grease to all of my truck drivers. Y'all stay in between the mustard and the mayo. Y'all keep it in between the lines and keep that left door closed. And always allow God to guide your way. Peace. Hold on, let me see something. What does that say? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Will Roth Consulting. Y'all go check her out. Go check out Miss Will Roth. Well, I'm gonna say Will Roth. That's her name of her consulting. Go check her out. Go question. She's gonna be on the podcast. We're gonna learn what her business is. We're gonna learn what she does, and she's gonna be on here doing her thing also. Man, once again, thank you guys for joining me. Come back next Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to have another guest and we're going to talk about trucking. Peace.
I don't wanna care so much, 'cause I really care too much. It's all just overwhelming, I'm just overthinking. I feel like I'm too much. Keep mistaking my anxiety for intuition, and stress keeps getting in the way of my ambition. Logically, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but my body doesn't agree with my brain. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying there's no one there who cares like I do. I really wanna feel free, but I'm worried I will lose me. Somewhere along the road, I start feeling cold, get caught up in something old that's been further down